Already, attention has turned to the Papal Conclave, the Vatican's secret process for choosing a new pope. In a moment, we'll hear from one Vatican expert about who may emerge as Pope Francis's successor. But first, Louise Byrne and Paul Murphy have been looking at how exactly it all works.
Con profondo dolore devo annunciare la morte del nostro Santo Padre Francesco.
With the death of Pope Francis yesterday and his funeral confirmed for Saturday, a series of centuries-old rituals and traditions has begun. Among them is the heavy historic task of choosing a new leader for the world's 1.3 billion Catholics, which falls on the shoulders of the Church's senior officials, the College of Cardinals. Cardinals arriving in Rome will stay in St. Martha's house and hold preparatory meetings at New Synod Hall. On the first day of the conclave, they'll celebrate Mass in St. Peter's Basilica, then gather in the Pauline Chapel before walking in a formal procession to the adjoining Sistine Chapel to begin the voting. Technically, any baptised Catholic man can be voted in as Pope, but since 1378, a new Pope has always been selected from the College of Cardinals. There are 252 cardinals in the Catholic Church, with 135 of them under the age of 80 and eligible, therefore, to participate in the conclave. Of them, 108 or 80% were appointed by Pope Francis. 22 are appointments by Pope Benedict, while there are still 5 electors appointed by Pope John Paul II.
It's not sure that just because the vast majority of these cardinals became cardinals under Pope Francis, that they will vote in the same way that he might have voted. It's not as if he stacked the deck with people who are all like-minded. That's a false reading, I think.
The geography of voting cardinals is changing. While those from Europe and North America are still the largest bloc, they hold less sway than before. And the numbers in Latin America, Africa and Asia have grown.
But God would say,
so could that mean we might have another non-European Pope?
have no fear.
Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle is considered a frontrunner.
He's got my vote for next Pope. How about that?
From the Philippines, the gregarious man they call Chito would be Asia's first Pope.
How many of us here are young at heart?
While he's more moderate than many cardinals from outside Europe, conservatives could view him as an improvement on Pope Francis. More conservative again would be Cardinal Peter Turkson, who's among the leading contenders from Africa. The Ghanaian was also in the mix at the last conclave in 2013.
For the Church, humanity is our business. And every situation of the human person concerns us, especially things that impact on his dignity and well-being.
Of the Europeans, Hungarian Cardinal Peter Erdo is also considered a conservative option, having resisted changes to the Church's approach to divorced and gay Catholics. Or Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's most senior diplomat, has the benefit of being strong-voiced geopolitically in a time of global turmoil. Or maybe it'll be the Italian with the quintessentially Italian name, Cardinal Pier Battista Pizzaballa, the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem. Decades in the Middle East have won him political and religious respect.
I just arrived yesterday from Gaza. They don't give up. So you also, we don't give up.
Pizzaballa might be the perfect compromise candidate.
I think the current very volatile geopolitical situation that began after the election of Donald Trump and all that which has ensued since, that is going to weigh heavy on this conclave, I suspect. I think there is one narrative that thinks maybe we need a little less whirlwind pontificate or papacy right now than Pope Francis's was.
And how about an Irish Pope? Born in Dublin's Drimna, Cardinal Kevin Farrell has, at the moment, the most important job in the Vatican, running the ordinary affairs of the Holy See in the absence of a pope. But he isn't as widely recognised as other contenders. And then there's Cardinal Unknown. With such an open field, it's entirely possible the new pope could be someone no one is considering at the moment.
Will they choose somebody who's more dynamic, somebody more evangelical? Will they choose the Franciscan in Jerusalem? That's very significant. I think the smart money is on Parolin at this point, maybe Pizzaballa. We're not going to cast a vote. It's those 130 men or so in the room, they're going to cast a vote. And God knows only what they're going to do.
The conclave will take place in 14 to 19 days' time. And this is the room where it happens. The Sistine Chapel will be thoroughly checked for any listening devices or hidden cameras. All involved will have to swear an oath of secrecy. Those not involved in voting are ordered to leave with the Latin phrase for everyone out.
Extra omnes.
The doors are shut and locked. Latin again. Conclave with a key.
I think that it's much more of a prayerful setting and a prayerful trepidation that fills these men as they go to vote rather than political calculations.
Under the gaze of Michelangelo's Last Judgment, voting will begin. Ballots are counted and the results read aloud in search of a 2/3 majority. On the first day, the clock starts ticking. One vote is held after morning mass. If no one is elected, the cardinals reconvene the following day at 9:30 and vote again. If unsuccessful, another vote immediately takes place. And from then on, there are 2 votes in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. The ballots and any notes made are burned together twice a day with a mixture of chemicals. Black smoke if there's no pope, white if there is. An addition since 2005 because smoke can be hard to see. The bells of St. Peter's will also be rung. The longest conclave of the 20th century took 5 days, but both Pope Francis and Pope Benedict were elected in just 2. Around the globe, people are watching and waiting. In a matter of weeks, the world will have a new pope.